I received a $5 tip from Canadian Kirk. He says, speaking of which, do you think human beings will ever colonize the galaxy? Will that be a task that sentient super advanced robots will accomplish? Let me put it this way. Okay? How about this? This will be an interesting take. All right? I feel that the human race can achieve some pretty amazing things. I mean, if you think about the things that humans have achieved that are groundbreaking, how on earth does a creature that stands anywhere from 4 to 6 feet tall, right, create a building structure that towers into the sky so high that you can't see the top from the ground? Right? How is it that we found a way to communicate and transfer energy and data through the invisible stuff around us? No physical connection. It's just we're doing it at a moment. So right now, I'm transferring to you through the internet. I'm not there with you. I'm not actually sitting next to you talking to you. But this is amazing technology, is it not? How do we come up with all this stuff? Right? It's nuts how smart people can be. The only thing that's holding people back is people. That's literally it. It's the human race that holds the human race back. Because when we get so wrapped up in our own shit, right? When we get wrapped up in our own politics, and our own religion, and our own, this group is better than this group, and this group is ahead of this group, and this one controls all the resources, and this group is below making the resources. When we get into the deep down way that humanity has always existed, all right? That's what holds us back from true progress. Because if we lived in a society, oh God, did you hear what I just said? We live in a society. If we lived in a society where people realized that if everyone truly looked out for one another and took care of each other, that would actually mean that everyone was okay. And I know people say, well, that's communism. Well, it really isn't, because communism has been tried and failed. It's not. See, the thing is, it's kind of an esoteric thing because it's never really been done. But if everyone just looks out for each other and takes care of each other, then we'd all be all right, and then we could work towards common goals of progress. But instead, think of it this way. Well, let's go colonize Mars. Okay, let's do it. Well, wait, we can't. Why? Well, someone has to finance it. Okay, let's have rich people finance it. Well, they're not going to do that. Why? Well, because they have to make a profit on it. Right? Wait, what? Well, yeah, they need something out of it. Forget about just human progress. We can't just do things on the fact that we want to advance as a race or a civilization. We actually have to have a reason that we benefit from it, right? So how do we benefit? How do we start selling condos out on Mars and timeshares and shit? How do we start, getting duplexes that you can rent space and shit? That's what we got to figure out first. How do we sublet all the units out? How do we figure this out? And then once we have this insane, complex, way profitable scheme, then we'll roll out with how to get to Mars and start colonizing it, right? Because before that, we'll never do that. You see, we have to think what benefits us, what's going to get us ahead, and that's the thing about our societies. The whole point of us thinking only about ourselves holds us back. You see, really, if people were just like, listen, we all just kind of want to get ahead. We all want to advance. These things will all be better for everyone, right? Like right now, how much do you want? And then I know this sounds like a conspiracy theory, because it is. But at the same time, I just want you to think about this logically, all right? You're telling me that there's no way that the common science or doctor studies or whatever you want to say, medicine, modern medicine, can figure out a way to shield us from the common cold. Now, I understand that the common cold is not just one virus. It's a million things. But you're telling me there's not just general ways that we can prevent it? That we're destined to always catch the common cold? Or could it possibly be that there is a billion upon billion upon billion dollar profitable industry of them selling over-the-counter remedies for the common cold that don't cure it, but just treat the symptoms? And so because it's so fucking profitable, they will never cure the common cold because they don't want to, because they want to be rich. You see? So, and the thing is, yeah, there is a way. I guarantee you right now, if you talked to the top minds on this planet, they'd be like, absolutely, we could stop it. It would cost an insane amount of money, and we'd have to do this crazy research, but we could roll it out and make sure that no one ever gets the common cold ever again. We would have a way to prevent it, whether it's a vaccine, whether it's just things you do, filtration systems, whatever it could be, we could stop it. But where's the profit in it for anyone? Well, there is none. Therefore, no one will ever do it. Just keep selling your remedies over the counter. That's the problem with humanity. Everyone's always looking at things from an angle of how to get ahead rather than how do I benefit myself and everyone around me. So when you say, will we ever colonize the planet? It would be interesting if we tried it, but what's the benefit? If you remember, when the explorers first started to travel around the world and look at the new world and stuff, when you had Vasco da Gama and Christopher Columbus and all those, the French explorers and all of them going out, what were they looking for? We're like, wow, we just want to find new places to expand. They're like, no, what can we loot? Where's the gold? Where's the spices? Where's the new rare things from there that we don't have that we can then loot and bring back home for monstrous profits? That's why they were doing it. They didn't care about culture. They didn't care about, oh, we can expand. All they wanted was to sack shit, right? So that's what I mean. That's human nature, you know? So, if you told me that they found giant veins of rare minerals and shit that they could sell back on Earth, on Mars, we'd be there in 5 minutes. Elon Musk would be on the next SpaceX jet out there, and he'd be mining it himself. Space cheese, that's valuable. He'd be eating the cheese and bringing it home. But that's what I mean. Right now, we'd have to figure stuff out. How does it make it profitable, or what's the benefit? Because no one will ever finance it and make it viable until that happens. Then all of a sudden, overnight, it'll be the next major thing we all talk about and everyone cares about. But until then, that's how humanity is, right? That's just how humanity is. So, that's my take for now. Maybe my take will change in time. You know, I try not to be too political there, but I mean, in general, I'm from what I've seen of human nature, I am kind of cynical. Are there people on planet Earth who actually care about others? Yes, there are. Absolutely. And you want to know the truth? Those people are very rarely in positions of power or any kind of prominence. You know, you want to hear about someone who is one of the most normal rich people out there. I'm not even going to tell you the story. I want you to research it yourself. Go look into the life history of Keanu Reeves. That's all I'm going to say. Go look at that man and take a look at someone who's a normal guy, who's rich, but just wants to be a good person and help others, and that's all he cares about. That's what you should look into. If more people were like Keanu Reeves on this planet, all right, this planet would be a very different place. That's all I'm going to say.